Hello, my name is Richard Simcott and I'm at the moment in Iceland studying Icelandic at the university here, and a lot of questions that I get refer to how I study languages and what I do from a day-to-day perspective, and also how I maintain a number of different languages. Another also recurrent theme is whether or not it's possible to study more than one language. What I'd like to do is to try and answer some of those questions now. So what I would do generally is, for Icelandic for example, I took a book, went through it, wrote down every day the lessons that were in there, and made sure that I was aware of the language and the sort of structures and the rhythms of it. So I'd listen to it and try and make it make sense in my head, to fit somehow, and to try and use the little bit that I knew. Now, to get onto the course that I've been doing for the past 2 weeks, all I had to do is reach a level of A1, which is the lowest level in European frameworks. So it actually wasn't that tough to do. I actually did a course online with the university that they gave to us for free, which I'll link to below if you're interested in Icelandic. With that course we had to pass an exam to be able to be admitted onto the course, and to be honest, it wasn't that much of a stress to do. I think when people talk about learning a language, they're talking about this really in-depth knowledge of being able to use it for university studies, or to read a book, or watch a film, or to interact in a very, what they call, a fluent way with native speakers or other speakers of the language, and that does take time, but the important thing is to take the steps and to get to that level, and to get to that level when you're ready. Have in mind what's important to you for the language, and make it manageable. If you tackle a language in itself and just say, I want to learn fluent Icelandic, then you're putting yourself before Everest. If you say you want to reach a certain level and you're on your way to fluency, have fluency certainly as your goal if that's what you want, but also break it down so that you have something to aim for and to feel satisfied with at the end of a study week. So one of the things that I had to do was my clear goal with Icelandic was to get through this test, get through the course online, do the test, pass it, get on the course. So that was a very clear goal that I had in the beginning, and it was an A1 level, it was nothing beyond that. And then I found some resources online, which I'm going to link to here for you as well, and they basically gave me a good grasp of being able to get by when I arrived in Iceland, because one of my goals is always, if I'm going to go to the country, is to not use English or another language, but to use the language of the country, the target language, the language I want to learn. I find that if you get into the habit of speaking a different language to the people from the country, and you're there for any long period of time, then it's very hard to then break those relationships built on that other language. So that would be my first thing to say, is that definitely do make sure that if you're going to the country, have enough to be able to get by in the beginning, and build on it. Don't be afraid of making mistakes, it happens. And then sort of as I go beyond the sort of the basics of the A1, A2 stage, you're getting to the intermediate B1, B2 kind of levels with the language, and for that, seek out films or books, whatever really motivates you. The key thing is motivation. If you're not motivated to learn, you're not going to learn. So make sure that you've got something that you can use, that you can really identify with, and it gives you passion to be able to carry on with your studies. I find that the biggest thing that's overlooked in any activity, especially one like language learning, which is a long-term venture, is that people really do underestimate motivation and what that means. Motivation for me is not only motivating myself with materials that I find interesting on a sort of a long-term with a long-term view, but also identifying that I have different moods depending on days, depending on what's happening in my life, and it's good to always be able to identify different things that will help you to change your mood, or at least change your desire from a sort of I can't be bothered doing it today to a yeah, I can do a bit, or at least revise. A very important factor in language learning is to do it steadily and to do it regularly. Too much at once can burn you out, and too little can make you feel like you haven't achieved anything, and that's dangerous too, because you can feel quite down about your progress, and you'll feel that you're not doing anything, or you're missing something that other people aren't. Of course you're not. No one ever is. Everybody goes through these feelings, and they're completely natural. I really don't know any human beings that don't have these sorts of varied and differing emotions on a day-to-day basis. So just being able to find one book or one resource or one thing that you can do may not be enough. You need to also identify, say, songs, or if you like poetry, or if you like reading, or if you like film, or if you like TV series, for example, where you can put the subtitles, or dubbed, or original versions where they're available, then definitely look out for those, because they will help to motivate you. And then moving on to the advanced, really, again, it's looking for more resources and like newspapers, maybe what you've trained in. So if you're a scientist, for example, and you know a lot about biology in your own language, you may want to delve deeper into that as you get beyond the intermediate stages. Intermediate really is dealing with, when I say intermediate, what it does is it deals basically just beyond the uses you'd have as a sort of a tourist or a visitor to the country. It would take you into conversations about what's going on, maybe in the media, in the news, maybe about the environment, and just general topics really like that. And then moving to the advanced, I think what you're looking at is a lot more sort of colloquialisms, slang. You're going to tackle some of this in the intermediate stage, and sometimes in the beginning stages too, but in the advanced stage really you want to be deepening that knowledge, and maybe looking at dialects and accents and things like that. So I'll end this part of the video here, and if you've got any questions, please do get in touch on my Facebook page, which is Speaking Fluently on Facebook. So it's facebook.com/Speaking Fluently, and I always try and answer questions when I can. All the best. Bye bye.